All over the Parshas. Sometimes I go in order. Ready? Torah tells us, towards the end of Parshas Emor, there was a story about a man who cursed the Makalo. And it says that the name of his mother was B'Shem Imo. His mother's name was, anybody?
Devorah.
Shalom Misbas Divri. Okay? Shalom Misbas Divri. That was her name. Why was it called Bas Divri? That she spoke a lot, and that's how she got into trouble. Shalom she would say shalom to everybody. Bas Divri. You have to know who and when and to be so friendly and everybody, men and women, and that's for another schmooze. I'm not an expert on that, but you have to know who to say hi to, when, and so on her level, she was getting too involved with the men, and she got into problems. So says the Medrash. Why do we care about her name? Shavachon Shel Yisrael. We're actually saying something positive about the Jewish people. Shepirsimu HaKosav L'Zura. The Torah tells us this. Lo Moshehi Levado Hoysazona. The only time when you had inappropriate relations was this time. Okay. Yeah. So Shalom is Bas Divri. Ended up getting involved with a man that she was not married to, and the son of this person ended up being the one that was the curse.
Don't we know he was a Mitzri?
I'm sorry?
Don't we also know he was a
Yes,
Mitzri?
yes, it says. But the point was the union between this woman and the Mitzri, right? Not her husband, ended up producing the Makala. So that's the Rashi over here. So we're saying something positive, that she was the only that this is the only time that this happened. Now, if you look, there was another person called the Makoshesh, the man that gathered wood on Shabbos. Okay? So over there, we have the exact opposite. We have the fact that the person was Mechal Shabbos, and the Torah says the exact opposite. That the Torah wants to say about how bad it was that the person was Mechal Shabbos. Okay? Now what's the difference? How come when it comes to this Avera of Znus, we say, oh, it's a positive thing. That she was the only person that did this Avera, as opposed to other people that didn't, right? But when it comes to Shabbos, we don't say that. By Shabbos, we say the exact opposite. The Torah comes to say a negative thing, that the person was Mechal Shabbos. What's the difference? How come by Shabbos, even though it was only one person that was Mechal Shabbos in the Midbar, but we make a big deal about it. The Torah says we mention his name to show how bad it was. What's the difference between the Avera of illicit relations and breaking of the Sabbath? That's the question. Good? Good. Anybody want to try something before I say an answer? Last time when I opened up to the audience, the guys figured it out.
Why did
It seems like we have the exact opposite drush of Chazal. There was one person that was Mechal Shabbos in the Midbar, and the Torah says, oh, terrible. But over here, one person did the Avera of Znus, and we say it was a positive, that she was the only one that did Znus, as opposed to everybody else that did not have illicit relations.
So it's Znus versus Mechal Shabbos.
Yes, versus Shabbos. How come when it comes to Mechal Shabbos, we say in a negative way, even though it was only one person, but by inappropriate relations, we say positive. Only one person did it, as opposed to the rest of Klal Yisrael.
Maybe when Mechal Shabbos, he influences other people. I guess I don't know.
I'm so excited. 2 in a row. Very good. The answer is, in general, inappropriate relations takes place in private, in the privacy of one's own home. Although it's bad, it's an Avera. But people are not affected by it as much because the only people who really know about it are the people who are involved in the activity. Okay? Maybe the hotel manager, right? Maybe the landlord. But in general, it's an activity that's in private, right? Chilul Shabbos is an activity that is done in public. So, who is affected by Chilul Shabbos? Not just the people who are Mechal Shabbos, the whole society is affected by Chilul Shabbos. Beautiful difference, beautiful insight. When you do an Avera in public, realize that not just are you yourself sinning, the whole concept of the Avera goes down in the eyes of other people. Yes?
Who's deciding that the Machal Shabbos is taking place in public?
Oh, that's a fact. That's what happened. That was the case.
That was the case.
Yeah, that was the case. Yeah. So that's the difference between Shabbos and Znus. I just want to explain that the Shuleb Diskin said a beautiful shot based on a pasuk in last week's Parsha. Torah tells us, last week's Parsha, B'tzedek tishbor amisecha. With righteousness, tishbor, you should judge your nation. Says Rashi, having done as kol adam lechav schus. A person should, I'm not sure what you said, but it wasn't schus, so have you done as chaver lechav schus? A person should judge his fellow, his friend, on the side of merit. So the simple explanation is, you're not sure whether or not he did an avera or not. You should assume that he did a mitzvah. He didn't do an avera. Or there was a reason why he did it. You see a friend going to a trefa restaurant, you assume, and he's an observant person, he has an ulcer. He had 2 seconds to eat food, and if he didn't eat, he would die. He ran inside, he didn't even pay for it, took the food and started eating. That's what you have to assume. But Rishul Leb Diskin says there's another reason why you have to assume that. Not just so you don't look at the person bad. What happens when you see an avera being done? Who is affected by the avera being done? Not just the person who's doing the avera, but you are affected by it. What a beautiful insight. Judge people favorably, not just for their sake, but for your sake. Because in your mind, if he's doing an avera, then the whole concept of an avera, how terrible an avera is, lowers. If he's not doing an avera, if he's doing a mitzvah, then a mitzvah gets raised and an avera gets lowered. So that's just a very big chiddush, a nice pshat for sure. That's why you judge your fellow better. So he's not doing an avera. In your mind, he's not doing an avera, and that's why the whole idea of, you have a question? Of Chol Shabbos or treif or whatever it is gets lowered in your eyes if he's doing an avera. If he's not doing an avera, he's doing a mitzvah, then the same level stays. An avera is bad, and a mitzvah is good. So that's a beautiful insight, a lesson we learn from this. Difference between an avera in public and an avera in private. Znus was bad, but it was in public, it was private. So we say that it was a positive thing. That only she did this avera. The whole rest of the world was not affected by the avera. It wasn't positive for her and for the man. It's positive for the Jewish people as a society. The only one person did the avera, and it didn't affect the entire Jewish people. But Shabbos was done in public, as we said, and therefore that has the ability to affect the rest of the people. It's very important that mitzvos should not be lowered status in our eyes. I'm not saying we should do this, but in Eretz Yisrael, there are people who throw stones at the Jews who are Machal. Why do they do that? What do they care? The point is, maybe they're doing it wrong, but the idea of what they're doing is right. We have to show that we don't tolerate Chol Shabbos, and Vera should not be done in public to lower the esteem that we have for mitzvahs and for the Torah in general. What a beautiful insight we learn from this parsha.